Stand by. Testing, 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 1, 2, 3. Testing, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing. Okay, are we back? There is. Yeah, Brendana, I think we're going to have to. This is really bad. I think we're going to have to replace. Okay. Yep. I think it is. Okay. So we should be fine. Thank you. I think I'm going to have to put in a new sound card. I've been doing some work on my computer and add some software. So I'm having something wrong. Maybe it's you guys are. Yeah, it is. You know, I have on. I'm using StreamYard. Input selection is selected. So yeah, what I'm gonna do after the show. I think I'm gonna reinstall StreamYard, and yeah, I think it might be my car, but I'm gonna have my tech come over tomorrow. So because I can't do this to my audience. It's not fair. But I told you it could also be the unseen agents of Xenu, or comment on Dodge's court report. I thought it was excellent. I'm glad for the outcome. I was going to argue the case myself, but I was busy. I was busy preparing more important things to keep someone out of jail. But I don't think that's going to work well. Hi, adorable Anarchy. Glad to see you, blue-eyed lady. And yeah, I think there's always sabotage afoot. Constant. The bane of Scientology's existence since for trillions of years, 4 quadrillion years to be exact, because that's when time began. The bane of Scientology's existence has been sabotage. LRH used to say, there are suppressors putting sabotage on my lines. In Scientology, if you get sabotage putting on your line, if you have sabotage on your lines, that's a phrase. Find the sabotage on my lines. Getting COB's legal beagles saluted? Yes. And some other things. And there was money involved too. So I get asked a lot, and there's been a lot of conversation or convo. If you ever read Scientology's emails or leaked memos, they'll, instead of saying conversation, they'll say convo. Had a convo with COV. And he said YSCHOB. And you know what that is. So, we're getting there. We are getting there, young lady. So there is sabotage afoot. Questions that's been asked. Target 2 has been coming up a lot. And somebody was asking about a reference to Target 2. And we will have that reference on another show. It's it could have been a cluster of body thetans. I think so, a cluster. So anyway, I'm going to show you a couple things to like where. Here's the problem. Tom Cruise would not come out of the closet on South Park. And so in the same manner, Mr. Hubbard seems recalcitrant to return from Target 2. So we're going to, and Sherry thinks that somehow Scientology is a very funny subject, and that my words, which are Scientology scripture, are this is very sinister, Sherry. Sherry, very sinister. And you'll find a very low-toned Thetans mocking the founder of Scientology. Yes. So thank you. I like to do Ron. The very low-toned beings will be found watching YouTube, this new Earth invention called YouTube. And I want to tell all Scientologists that the internet is a fad. It will go away. In fact, we saw just the other day the entire internet crash with Windows. So what'll happen, I think, we're hoping in Scientology that the crash the other day of Microsoft, which Elon Musk made fun of, we hope that the internet crashes altogether and people have to go back to telexes and typewriters. That's personally why I'm investing, and I'm inviting you to invest with me in my company. It's typewriter repair franchises, because when the internet crashes, I'm going to be selling typewriters and typewriter repair. Typewriters break, they need repair. So you can buy an Stuart Mills typewriter repair franchise, $50,000 down. I think you should book one now. Yes, you'll want fax machines because the internet went down. That's just a sign of things to come. That's just a sign of things to come. So the internet, it's sort of like going clear in Scientology. It's not a permanent thing. It'll crash. It's a fad. World would be better off with that. I liked the world before. Yeah, typewriter ribbons. I liked literally makes the hair stand on my L. Ron Hubbard. Then I'll have to do it more to bother people. So Tom Cruise would not come out of the closet on South Park, and L. Ron Hubbard will not come to Target 2. What is Target 2? Where is it? Why won't L. Ron Hubbard return? These are the questions we explore on today's show. So let's get to it, because we're already 10 minutes in goofing off. And this was just something I thought was fun. I took a shot. That's my photo from the other night at Big Blue. None of us... lol. None of us have landlines. Well, you're going to need possibly trouble, young lady. You're going to need landlines after the internet crashes. And I miss typewriters. So do I. That's why I keep an IBM. Okay, so people are curious about both Scientology, not really, and they're curious about why L. Ron Hubbard won't come back from Target 2. Okay, so first of all, let me begin by disabusing you all of the notion that this impersonator, L. Ron Hubbard 2, Justin Craig, felon, who's currently rotting in the Hoosgow in Tennessee, this is not L. Ron Hubbard comeback, not even close. Not even close. So those free zoners who were tricked by this confidence artist should not be. That's not L. Ron Hubbard. And even though he tried to write a book calling himself L. Ron Hubbard 2.0, and he invented some other, no, this is not L. Ron Hubbard. Returned, please. Anyway, that's not the guy. Now, let's talk about cools. One reason we know that this guy, this criminal, is not L. Ron Hubbard is he does not smoke cool cigarettes. You will always know L. Ron Hubbard because he smokes cools. Look at that. Come up to cool. Look at that masculine, handsome young man smoking cool cigarettes. So Ron smoked cools, and so should you. So should you. Now, question for my audience, and you should know by now, what this cool is the masculine cigarette. Women can smoke them too, though, too also, as can other LGBTQA aliens. Really, anyone who can smoke, even if you're not from this planet, everyone should smoke. Yes, because it will give you good teeth, and it will, smoking will, as Dr. Hubbard informed us, Dr. Hubbard, I'll let you say it himself. Not smoking enough causes cancer. And so you see, there's been a lot of societies, and I notice having fun with the cigarette, and they say that smoking causes cancer. Well, actually what happens is when you inhale, you get a nicotine flush, and that is the nicotinic acid in cigarettes chasing out the cancer. So cigarettes actually purge your body of cancer. We know this because L. Ron Hubbard wrote books, and he was a scientist. He was a nuclear physicist. So he knew all about cancer, because nuclear physicists are experts on everything. Do they still make cool cigarettes? Yes, and you can get them. Is that dude Joe Don Baker? Is he? Does that look like the suspect? Is that your Joe Don Baker? Did you have a fling with him in the past, Adorable Anarchy? Is there something you're not sharing? I don't know who Joe Don Baker is. Was he like a formal, an actor? But is that your guy? If so, do you need his number? So, can't be too masculine to have filters. Ouch. Wow. Well, just for your information, L. Ron Hubbard smoked cools, and the filters were to keep out the BTs in the tobacco. David Miscavige, though, smokes cool non-filters. Okay, so class. The advisory, this is a satire and not by any means a promotion to smoke cigarettes. Correct. Thank you for putting in there. You should not smoke. It's deadly. It's lethal. It will kill you. But a B-rate actor, so John Travolta then. I'm sorry. Michael Pena. I'm sorry. Those are... Fat Grammy. Hey, E. Stuart. Hey, good talking today, Fat Grammy. Great. I talked to Fat Grammy today. We were plotting, and Osa doesn't know what we were plotting about. But we're up to no good. So, Joe Gerst, when I was in high school, I worked at a gas station that sold smokes. We had non-filtered cools. Yep. You can still buy them. So, okay, audience question, and you better know this. You better know this if you want to pass. If cools are masculine cigarettes, what goes with cool cigarettes? What are we looking for that's rich and masculine? If I may give you a hint, come on. I want to see the comments. What is rich and masculine? I don't have all day, so I'm just going to have to. You guys should know better what's rich and masculine that we always celebrate on this show. You are correct. Chords. And I wanted to show you something interesting today. This is the full poster. Rich masculine corduroy. And I saw on the left-hand side, it says catalog number 899. Corduroy Ranger suit. I didn't even know those were a thing. Corduroy Ranger suit. It says, sturdy corduroy tailored into a jaunty jacket with butterfly lapels. Snaps are used throughout. The trousers are baggy elephant bells, which can take the new 3.5-inch cuff. You needed that cuff for those disco shoes. Platform shoes, disco shoes. So L. Ron Hubbard, you will know him because he smokes cools, but also because he likes butterfly lapels. Now, for you youngsters in the audience, butterfly lapels. This is a butterfly collar, or L. Ron Hubbard liked butterfly lapels and butterfly collars. So this fake Justin Craig, LRH 2.0, does not have cravats. He does not smoke cools. So don't be fooled by him. Don't be fooled at him. This was L. Ron Hubbard, first time around. So he will have a silk cravat, cools, and he'll have also CMO, young girls following him around with a cigarette and an ashtray. Because, Ron used to walk around the Apollo and he'd have the young CMO following him, the young girls, Commodore's Messenger Organization. They would be following with his ashtray. I think I have. Oh yes, here's one. This is a collectible. Where is it at? It's full of stuff. But let me. Okay, so look at that. This is an ashtray. For older people, we will recognize ashtrays. And they have indentations where the cigarettes would set, perpendicular. And this is an ashtray. I bought it because it's a Carnival glass ashtray. It was a collectible. So you always look for ashtrays. So the young girls in hot pants used to follow L. Ron Hubbard around carrying his ashtray so he could ash. Right? And God, that's disgusting to think about. So L. Ron Hubbard 2.0, the fake, has no ashtray. On Target 2, there are ashtrays. You don't see many ashtrays anymore around Earth. That's why I bought this years ago as a collectible. It's just kind of a thing to own. Plus, if anyone comes in, I can smash them in the head with it. I have someone in mind too. Should he ever show up? So, wow, I haven't seen one of those in a long time. I know. This is why it's kind of like a cool thing to have. And it's an ashtray. So there used to be a lot of them, but this is the Carnival glass, which is a special kind of glass they used in Las Vegas casinos. This has a little leather thing on bottom so it won't scrape your Mediterranean fruitwood console on Grandma's TV. Okay, so back to our serious studies, because this is a very serious study. And if it were a smaller person, it could double as a bedpan. Yes, if you were a wee tiny person like David Miscavige, that would be a bedpan, though I wouldn't want to clean it. Okay, so this is L. Ron Hubbard. Now, he wrote the OT levels, and we know all about the OT levels. When L. Ron Hubbard wrote the OT levels, Earth, TGAC as it's called, became a very dangerous place. There were clogs. Gagaloo 33. Yes, clogs. I remember clogs. Oh my gosh, clogs, platform shoes. Look at those shoes. Let's go back to, the rich masculine corduroy. These are platform shoes, and there were clogs. You can look them up if you're younger. They were clogs were had thick soles, and those are except what happens with David Miscavige and Tom Cruise, they don't have the full heel showing. It's concealed on the elevator shoe. Zippy says, "Hola, mi gente." Well, hola to you. Hola to you, amigo. Glad to have you here. And so when L. Ron Hubbard wrote the OT levels about Xenu and the body thetans and volcanoes in Las Palmas, even though the volcanoes weren't geologically there at the time, but that's why I get into the real science. Clogs are Scandinavian. Yes, you're correct. They were a fad in America. I'm going to give you a little interesting thing about wooden shoes. In the rise of the industrial age, people used to wear wooden shoes because they would last a long time and leather was expensive. So the wooden shoes were called sabots, S-A-B-O-T-S, sabots. And in the industrial age, when machinery began to take jobs from people, they would take their wooden shoes and throw them into the gearworks to sabotage the machine. That's the etymology of the word sabotage. It's the act of throwing a wooden shoe into gearworks during the early Industrial Revolution. This is why I'm a true Renaissance man, one of the few left in the world. Just yesterday, I was using hand tools to fix things around the home for my lovely wife. I can fix things. I know how to use tools. Crocs are modern day clogs. How true, Zippy? Crocs. I like that sketch. I wore clogs in courts. Am I L. Ron Hubbard? You could be possibly troubled, but we need to see some cool cigarettes. Ask Scott and some other indicia of L. Ron Hubbard. For example, your teeth look like they're in good shape there. So without the big nicotine-stained, rotted teeth, maybe you have some L. Ron Hubbard-like characteristics, but no, you're in good shape. And you probably don't use pinks and grays and rums. You probably don't get plastered on that. Dr. Scholl's clogs ruined my feet in the 70s. Yep. And remember earth shoes? Earth shoes? I wore earth shoes in high school. They had these inverse soles, so instead of the shoe doing this, they had inverse soles, and the theory that your heel was lower and somehow the earth shoe was help. Yes, we were right thinking at the same time, Zippy. Yes, Birkenstock are a big retailer of clogs. Okay, so when getting back to clogs in the brain, the OT levels, which have been widely discussed, and we do not need to review them here. That's why all of you have OT induced. You read the OT materials. That's why you have pneumonia, and have all since died. Who was it the other day? We had one on my last live. We had someone with OT induced pneumonia. That's where you get pneumonia. So L. Ron Hubbard 2.0, the faker, has never written encyclopedic works. That's another thing by which you will know L. Ron Hubbard. You'll see millions of printed words. He's the most published author in the world. And so you'll have to see like encyclopedias. So I'm just showing you what to look for to find the true L. Ron Hubbard and not the false L. Ron Hubbards. Can you explain Target 2, Warrior Queen queries? Is that a knockoff from the original Target, like a seconds damage store? Oh, you mean Targets are, well, for listeners, of course, some may not know, because I don't know. Target is an American department store. I think they have them in North America. Do they have Targets outside of America? I don't know. So no, Target 2 is not. What L. Ron Hubbard said is that when he dropped the body, he was going to go to Target 2 to introduce Scientology there, and then he would return. And according to the Sea Org contract, when you leave the Sea Org, you have a 21-year leave of absence, and then you're expected to report back to duty. So you drop your body, and then you go to the Between Lives implanting stations, and then you pick up another body, and then 21 years later, after your corporeal demise, you're supposed to report back to serve another lifetime of your billion-year Sea Org contract. Yes, only rich people had full sets of... Yes, that's true. When we were growing up, you had to have a lot of money. L. Ron Hubbard, his nemesis, Werner Erhard of Est, was selling encyclopedias and made a lot of money doing it. You could get rich. He sold encyclopedias early on. Werner was encyclopedia. And I'm just, this is not a wig. I pay a lot of money to get my hair this silvery sheen. It's not cute. I'm not cute. I'm handsome. SPTV never ends. Hey, Stuart Mills in chat. He's giving us some love. Love you back. Where was I? Oh, yes. So where are LRH? No one has produced volumes of technical encyclopedias in encyclopedia. I mean, so that's what you want to look for. So there are plenty of encyclopedias on Target too. But again, why won't LRH? Okay, so here's the situation. Look at how dire it was. When LRH dared to reveal the OT levels in 1967, 68, oh my gosh, well, I'll tell L. Ron Hubbard tell the story itself. I knew someone had to take the jump, and it was very dangerous. And I was the first one in 75,000 years to find the way out of the trap and exactly map it. And let me tell you, all hell broke loose here on Tijiak, here on Earth. And there were alien invaders came by the millions to try to take me out, to try to destroy Scientology organizations and stop the delivery of a Scientology, which is man's only hope of liberation from the trap in which we are ensnared. Okay, that was L. Ron Hubbard himself. And so what happened is Earth was invaded by all kinds of menacing extraterrestrials who didn't want the secret out about body thetans and Xenu. That's what L. Ron Hubbard was up against. And yet this great thetan persevered. And this is the same battle against which David Miscavige and Tom Cruise must fight. Marauding hordes of aliens attacking the Earth to get rid of the OT levels. And I've got this really funny convo. And I think it was kind of a fun convo. It was crazy. Breaking news. Someone endorsed some. I didn't give a shit about that. See. I had a really funny convo with a free zoner. And they were, the essence of it is this. So this free zoner reached out to me and they were talking about OTs and it was absurd. And I told them, and I said, real OT power, to demonstrate to me real OT power, you would have to have a real OT travel back in time and kill Hitler. That was my challenge. Why didn't you do that? If an OT was going to do something good, you would travel back in time and take out Hitler. And then they were talking about, well, they would have to be born in a body in like 1900 and then go into Austria or Bavaria, whatever. And then they would have to take out Hitler. And I said, but an OT could do that. But an easier way would be an OT to go to Hitler, his crowd there, and just take over. There's an OT should be able to take over the body of another. It's called a walk-in in esotericism. So real OT should be able to go when Hitler was hanging around. Who was the weakest of his early inner circle? It was not Ernst Röhm. It was not Goering. It was Heinrich Himmler. You should take over Himmler, and because he was a little squishy weakling physically, but not, he's a monster. But take him over and then kill Hitler in his sleep. So I said a real OT should be able to go back into the time stream and do that. And that didn't happen. So that was an absurd argument, but I entertained it because it was amusing. What is the test? What should a real OT be able to do? Well, I could tell you that they weren't able to fend off the invading masses after L. Ron Hubbard introduced Scientology cake today. Yeah, I love the verdict. I did. What's with the spaceship in the upper right-hand corner? Oh, that's my branding. It's Apollo 11 lunar excursion module, both stages. This is the Apollo 11 moon landing. I like it as my new logo. I'm using it, the moon landing channel. And so that's what it is. It's, I believe, Buzz Aldrin. I think Neil Armstrong took the picture, and that's Buzz Aldrin there right after they landed on the moon. And so there you go. So L. Ron Hubbard faced an invasion, and David Miscavige is still staving off all the forces of the enslavers from here on the planet and from other planets and other places. And look, they were trying to capture L. Ron Hubbard and take him back to another prison planet. That's one of my favorite pictures, the Earthrise. So anyway, this is what L. Ron Hubbard was facing, and yet he persevered. And then there were honeypot traps. There were women honeypot traps sent in by the Soviets. And they were trying to steal the tech. Soviets. They were trying to charm Ron. Is L. Ron Hubbard, if you give me the tech, I will give you something you might like a lot, huh? That's what they were saying. But L. Ron Hubbard, are you drinking rum? No, I'm having iced tea. And I didn't feel like having, I was going to have Jack and Coke today, but maybe later. So the honeypot traps. Now, fortunately, because Ron smoked so much and drank, he was not functional in that department. So the honeypot traps were no, and he was possibly also more interested in other things. Yes, honeypot traps. And so you can see all the dangers Ron faced here on Target 1, which is Earth, Target Run. And Zelda, yes. So the honeypot traps and the Marcab invaders. So Ron faced the dangers for being the first one in 75,000 years to get an exactly taped path out of the trap. That's such a weird, Ron called it an exactly taped path out of the trap. Like you're putting tape on the floor. Taylor Swift trap right there. Yeah, it's kind of is it Taylor Swift? Yeah, kind of. Lady Gaga. Yeah, it could be a lot of people. Yeah, but the thing is they tried to use sex. And L. Ron Hubbard hated sex. He said that sex was a trap. That very low-tone beings were into sex and needing bodies. And he didn't like all the sticky, sweaty, fluids and everything involved in the act of coitus. He would probably got coitus interruptus, too. If you remember that old term, coitus interruptus. And factually, sex is a very degraded, low-toned activity of needing bodies because the family is not unnecessary. It's the genetic line. So the honeypot traps, all us women only got corduroy. I know, you guys got, like, L. Ron Hubbard gets a honeypot trap and you guys get corduroy? I mean, it's not fair. So, but that's often life's not fair. And that's just the way it goes. So let's go back to the honeypot traps. And then you had these flying saucers. And this is what Captain Bill Robertson tried to warn about. The Marcab invaders always trying to kidnap Ron with their flying saucers and tractor beams. Joe Gerst asked me of L. Ron Hubbard, do you think that he was an incel or just off balance? Well, now, I'm a fake lawyer, so I might as well just be a fake psychologist, psychiatrist, analyst. Because I can do that. I'm Stuart Mills. I can kind of do whatever the hell I want iced tea. And you can see the ice cubes. I go to Starbucks. I'm one of those people, like I go to Starbucks, I can't see the sense in throwing a perfectly good Starbucks cup away. So I'll use it over and over and over at home, just like water bottles. It's like I'm very conscious. So like water bottles, I will reuse, and I will reuse Starbucks. So there's no reason not to use them at home. If you want tea Java and ice cubes, you don't need to go to run out to Starbucks every time you want iced tea when you can just use the. So I like to use it over and over. I'm sure you guys do too. Because why would you use this once and then throw it out? This has alkaline water with electrolytes. I don't know what that means. It's not any kind of special water. I got it at Trader Joe's. It was just cheapest water. I was out in the desert and I bought some. So do I think that L. Ron Hubbard was an incel or just off balance? Now this is called steepling. So when you want to look intellectual, you steeple. Yeah, that would be great. If you could put the TPS report, if you could put it on top of the TPS cover sheet. Yeah, that would be great. Peter, did you hear about the cover sheets for the TPS reports? Yeah. If you could add that, that would be great. Yeah. So, yeah, we know that, well, Hubbard had 2 children by his first marriage, 4 by Mary Sue, 1 by his second marriage, 6 kids. So he did the deed at least 6 times. And, yes, unfortunately, one of them. I don't even want to get into that. Let's keep that for a serious show. That gets into, because I've got some files on that. So I want to get to Joe's problem. Was L. Ron Hubbard an incel or just off balance? Well, in my professional opinion, as a psychiatrist, and I was trained by Sigmund Freud personally, as was Dr. Snake Thompson. It was in my past life Freud trained me. And he used to do coke, smoke cigar. He was a weird guy. So just your typical psych. And Joe, you're setting up a dichotomy which we don't need. The fact is, L. Ron Hubbard could have been both an incel and off balance. That seems more to it. You don't have to have an either or, that he was an incel when he was young, and maybe he got his revenge on people by creating Scientology. Because sometimes weaklings who get picked on when they're young, they get their revenge on people in different ways. Question, Saul Goodman asks, does being high on psychiatric drugs and other drugs help you return from target 2? Well, again, as a professional medical doctor in the field of psychopharmacology, psychiatrist, we don't really do therapy. So we as psychiatrists, we do psychopharmacology. So what you're asking is a profound question in the realm of science, because we're dealing with quantum gravity, obviously, and we're dealing with the interactions of psychopharmaceutical drugs along with quantum gravity, which can exert some strange effects. So when you mix gravity, actually quantum gravity, with, say, quaaludes, strange things can and do happen, especially in the Van Allen radiation belt, where space is very hot. Space is very hot with the photons and such. So the answer is not to be determined. There's clinical studies going on being funded by the Church of Scientology to see if it would help. I don't see how it could hurt, but I'm being a fake doctor, so I wouldn't rely on my advice. Yes, exactly. When you want to look intelligent, use steeple. Like you're thinking. See what it does? It convinces the other person that you really care about their question. Warrior Queen. So you're asking that. Tell me more about that. I understand. I hear you. I know where you're coming from. So that makes people think you care about what they're talking about. And L. Ron Hubbard Jr. talked about a lunatic. He was, yes, L. Ron Hubbard Jr. Nibs talked about Tillman being a lunatic. But back to the threats he faced, because we're going to have to get to this target too. So Captain Bill Robertson, creator of the Free Zone, was always warning about the Marcabs and such. And so I want to show you where out in space, I can't give the exact Cartesian XYZ coordinates or the distance, the light years from Earth, but there's T2. It's in a cluster of Earth-like planets and planets that don't have water on them, but there's T2. So we know it's an actual location in space. That's where Ron's at. But again, it's a secret in Scientology where T2 is and how many light years it is from Earth. But it is surrounded by Earth-like planets. So Commodore Hubbard, Dr. Hubbard, is free. Hi, Bridge 1872. Is that when you did, in your past life, when you did your Scientology bridge? But welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Glad to have you here. Like those glasses. That's another question because we're doing satire, so I will defer that to later. Oh, man, we fuck him and how law firm told my law firm the same thing. Yes, we compare notes. And does little Davy think his next stop is target 2? L. Ron Hubbard's not going to allow David Miscavige. And that's one reason. David Miscavige is one reason L. Ron Hubbard will not come back to target 2 because, quite frankly, L. Ron Hubbard does not approve of David Miscavige. He calls him strange, weird, a degraded being, an SP, a freak, a psych. So there's an argument to be made that actually the sabotage on Scientology's lines is COBRTC, Mr. David Miscavige, who has squirrel attack. And this is what I get. I'm just getting this from sources. It's not like I'm having any skin in the game. But I'm told by those in the know, and I don't want to divulge their names, but Senior CS at Flag happened to tell me when I was down there that he confidentially told me that he thought, and that's Ray Midoff, and I don't want to get him in trouble, but Ray Midoff, Senior CSN, told me confidentially that he thought Ron had squirreled attack. So did some other RTC execs and some other people in the church. They thought David Miscavige comes as the SP on their lines during sec checks. I have a pile of sec checks. I have sec checks. I have warehouses full of sec checks where the reading item is David Miscavige is the SP. So on T2, David Miscavige is not allowed. There's an order not to allow David Miscavige on T2. So that's one reason he won't come back. He doesn't like Target 2. No one on Target 2 is interested in Scientology either. No, that's not true. That's not true, Adam. There's a huge amount of interest. There's a huge amount of interest. Oh, I don't want to go there yet. There's a huge amount of interest on Target 2 in Scientology. It's huge. There's been at least 5 copies of Dianetics sold in the last year. And that's a real audited report. Not like those fake audits at GPB Capital Holdings. But I digress. On Target 2, there's live streamers and protesters. Saul Goodman, YouTube. Yes, there are. Shout out to your YouTube. Yes, there are protesters, and Ron has to deal with those through... Well, fair game doesn't exist. But I wanted to show you Ron's house on Target 2. There's where he lives. And this is Ron's, it's called the Apollo 2. So it's actually a ship that can go in the water, or it can fly in the air, or it can travel over land. Do they have corduroy on target 2. No, because of the heavy gravity of target 2, corduroy gets compressed. It gets very compressed. So that's why you have to wear corduroy. Doesn't survive the harsh environment or gravity of target 2. It's a heavy gravitic planet. That's what L. Ron Hubbard said on the heavy gravitic planets. So you always like to make it words, so you, instead of gravity, you call it gravitic. On the heavy gravitic planets, Adam Carmona could not possibly survive. Do they have to wear the stupid vest on target 2? Yes, they do. They have to wear those theater usher outfits. Sweet house it is. So that's where L. Ron Hubbard lives. And he still uses ashtrays and smokes cools. He's just in a different type of body. And pretty ghastly, but he kind of looks the same. He's just, kind of puffier. I heard that the Target Tunians, I like that. Target Tunians, Target Tunians call Scientology's Apollo Creed. That's funny. Is Dave tall on T2? No. The fact is, Gagaloo 33, David Miscavige is not tall in any frame of reference. Any inertial frame of reference, David Miscavige will always be short. And it doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter which inertial frame of reference. He will always be short because he's a tiny, tiny little being. He's tiny like that. When he's taken out of a meat body, he's just like that. I wish I had something. Oh, here. Where it is. There. See that? That's David Miscavige. That's about the size he is when his Thetan. He's just a little white guy. But if you turn him over here, let me see. This is really secret. Okay, this is really secret. I want to swear you all to secrecy. Do you promise to keep this secret? You have to promise to keep this secret. Do you promise? Do you promise to keep this secret? Okay, this is secret. I don't want you to tell anyone. But this is actually David Miscavige. He's a little green. He's a little green creature. That's him. That's David Miscavige. That's what he really flies around as when he's not in his meat body. So now you've seen the real David Miscavige. He's a little green alien. And that's the secret that Scientology is keeping from you, but I know about. David will be a garden gnome due to due to the heavy gravity, he will be a garden gnome. That's one of his possible bodies. But this is actually David Miscavige here on my fingertip. Okay, Dave, I'm going to put him back. Now, usually to talk to him, I have to use my special glass. There. Now, what is it? What is it, Mr. Miscavige? Why did I let the people see what you really are? Because it's YouTube and I want the views. Oh, of course it's pure clickbait. I'm not above using you or anyone else for clickbait. Yes. Well, I'm a WOG lawyer. I'm a Scientology lawyer, so I have no moral or ethical convictions about anything except you paying me. Now, I'm going to put you back in the bottle. There you go. There. He's in the ashtray. So this is like usually I have to do this when Miscavige is floating around as the little green alien he is. To even talk to him, I have to like get down. So this is a special device I was issued by RTC. It's an ecclesiastical viewing scope. So if you ever find one of these, you'll know that. But it does help you to spot BTs as well. Like on my hand, I'm BT free. I do inspections every day. And so isn't that a nice little device to have? It's not just a magnifying glass. It's special because it can see things in the spiritual realms. And so now you know. And I'll be sec checked. I saw what you did there. That's funny. No, I didn't squish him. No, Mr. Miscavige is safely in the ashtray. That's where he likes to hang around and smoke these little tiny they're just microscopic, cool cigarettes. But this is where he hangs around when he's in my office. That's why I have the ashtray, so he has a place to call home where he can drink little tiny bottles of Macallan Scotch that they make. You actually have Swiss jewelers employed by Macallan making these tiny little bottles of Scotch and cigarettes for Mr. Miscavige. It costs a lot. An infected zit. Wow, that's brutal. Wow, they wouldn't want to get in an argument with you. And space, you explained so much. Even smaller next to Ray Midoff. I know. So Ray Midoff said he squirreled the tech, but you didn't hear that from me because I'm not supposed to violate Ray's confidences. He saw what? Yeah. So that's it. In quick review, to quickly review, this is L. Ron Hubbard's home on the Apollo 2. This is where T2 is located in space, but it's a secret location. We don't want NASA sending out, the psychs in these secret space vehicles they won't tell you about to try to capture Ron. And the tractor beams can't get him. But if he's on Earth, he's in danger. And the honeypot traps won't work on him because women, he's like, he's just, I don't know. I don't want to go there, but I don't want to violate anything HIPAA, but Ron's, it's worse than ED. It's what's the opposite of no E, non-E. Yes, non-E. He's in non-E. So, yeah, you can't get him up in the, no, that's the Marine song. Can't get him up in the morning. Anyway, so no, he's not, can't tempt him. Yeah, that's what happened. So, so these are the Marcabs, and yeah, those are the Marcabs that are invading Earth. They're after you. They're after you in your androchrome. And you should get a set of the tech volumes, except Scientology quit selling them. They took them out of the course rooms. But if L. Ron Hubbard comes back, he will be bringing the tech volumes with him. So to answer Scientology's questions, when will the tech volumes be coming back? When L. Ron Hubbard returns. Otherwise, the tech volumes, the green and reds, are out of all course rooms. OT levels. There's L. Ron Hubbard. You have to wear butterfly collar, cravat. That's a good look. Slick your hair back. And rich masculine corduroy. That's a winning outfit anywhere. I'm going to be buying a corduroy Ranger suit. I'm scouring local secondhand stores for a corduroy jacket. I found a few that are beat up, but I don't want, I have a blue one, but I want something like this from the 70s. I really dig that white turtleneck this guy on the left's wearing, this white turtleneck and that big butterfly lapel corduroy jacket. Now that's a great look. White turtleneck. Who would not want to wear that? And I think I look great in that. So come up to cool, the rich, refreshing taste of lung cancer. There, Patrick, I hope that complies with the rules of This Is Satire. Come up to cool for lung cancer, other problems. Come to Nebraska. It's always the 70s here. I think I will. But actually, if I could recycle, Adorable Anarchy, if I could recycle, I would just go through the 80s. I would go 1980, New Year's Day, and then I would go to New Year's Eve, 1989, and then I would just go back and repeat. I would just stay in the 1980s. That was my favorite generation. And it's just so cool. I was telling some of my younger colleagues the other evening that I was glad I got to see the last of the world before the internet came up. I'm glad I got to see it. Check thrift stores in Fairbanks, Alaska. Well, I will. I need an excuse to go to Alaska. We have one of my listeners, several of them are from Alaska, where they're at. Late for muster, great to see you. Well, you're always late for muster, but you're excused. But because just showing up alone is enough. The 80s is Iowa. No, I want to stay in Los Angeles, where you could go down to the Roxy and watch the Motels, or Berlin, or any of those great bands. I agree. I was 20 in 1980. Lovely time. It was a great time. But that's what you do. You know, when I was growing up, you know, my grandpa used to tell me about how rough it was in the Depression. And it was rough. So, and how easy I had it. And maybe I did, but I did put myself through college. I mean, I did some stuff. But, you know, you always sound old, but why not? If you're old, you can tell stories. And L. Ron Hubbard, too, is a big, fat impersonator. And he has, I think it was a swastika tattooed on his head that he's obscured. I believe it was. Does anyone have a picture? Yeah, I think no, it was the infinity symbol of Scientology. I get those two confused. So, yeah, he tattooed that sideways 8. It's the infinity symbol between his eyes. What? Now, why would you do that? I'm not, you know, if you want to get tattoos, I don't care. Face tattoos, it starts getting like you're not. If you want to have face tattoos, it's your body. Go have all the face tattoos you want. Not opposed to it, but like get creative with it. Don't put like a Scientology site where. Anyway, he went all in thinking. Now there he is again. Look how thoughtful. He's trying to look like he's looking upwards into the heavens. His eyes ascended, looking up into eternity, and he's got this cheesy background that looks like he's at Baskin and Robbins, and they're introducing one of their new flavors. So, curious about Scientology? Bitch, please. No. But people really actually how they follow it. But so in conclusion, whereupon so that's it. L. Ron Hubbard is not going to come back to Scientology until David Miscavige leaves, one way or another. Arrested, prison, drops the body. He's also not coming back in because he has a felony. Well, he was convicted in absentia, a fraud in Spain. So, but in a new body, I don't think they're going to lock him up. He's also waiting until all the orgs are St. Hill size, old St. Hill size. You've heard that. That's like a trope. Scientology, David Miscavige used to say, well, we'll release OT 9 and 10 when all orgs are old St. Hill size. That's when around St. Hill. And then there was always a reason why OT 910. Now, the other reason, L. Ron Hubbard, and you're going to, he gets all these telexes on Target 2 saying, Ron, when are you going to release OT 9 and 10? All these whiny OT bitches. Ron, when are you going to release OT 9 and 10? I've done 8, and then I've done OT 8, and then I'm on I've done my L's, and I want OT 9 and 10 and 12 and 13, 14, 15. The bridge goes to OT 15, but OT 9 and 10 are not released. So L. Ron Hubbard doesn't want to hear it. Can you find Pat Broker so we can have OT 9 and 10? Their OT levels 9 and 10 exist. L. Ron Hubbard took them with him to Target 2. Thus depriving David Miscavige, because he didn't think David Miscavige was worthy, as well as OT 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Now, Captain Bill's bridge goes up to what does it go up to, Brandana? Like OT, they have like 149 levels or something on Captain Bill's bridge. It's ridiculous. So, L. Ron Hubbard will come back in the short, as he told me today. He said, Stuart, I'm only going to tell you this once, and I want you to tell the civilization of Earth. This is a direct communication from L. Ron Hubbard source. I will come back to Earth when I'm goddamn ready to. So stop bothering me. Okay, so that's L. Ron Hubbard. That's what he said. I'll come back when I'm goddamn ready, and I'm not. So I'm clear up to OT 420. Wow, that's impressive. Brendana, we have an OT 420. I've read about those in books, but I didn't know they really existed. Wow, how much did that cost you, Saul? That's amazing. I'm OT 714. Let's keep bidding it up. Let's see who's the highest OT level in my audience. We have a 420, which is impressive, and then Joe's OT 714. Come on, who's higher? I don't. Come on. Do we have an OT 714? Any OT 747s? More? Can we go higher? About $6 a gram. You don't do dealing. $6 a gram. Gonna watch this on replay. We'll be honored if E. Stuart Mills is mocking my non-linear time. Yeah, we're having some fun. I did talk about going back in time and having to kill Hitler. But it was in a spirit of conviviality. I was convivial. So we had a very enjoyable offline conversation. You still have to go back in time and kill Hitler to prove that OT exists. That's my hidden standard. Okay, we have an OT 51,000, an OT 121,600. Wow. No, it's a honeypot. Look out. Saul and Joe are honeypot traps. Wow. I will watch out, but Adorable Anarchy, 121,600 OT level. Wow, I bet every body theta in the local sector of the galaxy is terrified of you. And what's that, Ron? Actually, we have Adorable Anarchy. I awarded her Kakon status. Kakon status when she reached OT 121,600 on target 2. What, really? Adorable Anarchy she got her OT 121,600 on target 2. Not everyone is allowed to go to target 2. I'm OT 55 plus. Yeah, I know. If you added OTH, it'd be over the hill. OT 5150. That's funny. That's a psychiatric lockup. Yeah, my husband is terrified. I bet he is. Trying to live with an OT, like you could read his mind. I'm OT DC 8. Do you remember the dance in the 60s that was popular, OT Watusi? They should have the OT Watusi. And you could get so creative with you. I think our community should create all kinds of exotic, fun OT levels. You know, like OT disco. Now that would be fun to be disco level OT. Where you've really... So anyway, that's it. That's why you know Oren Hubbard's not going to come back till he's damn well good and ready. The Ron 2C. God. Could you imagine Ron trying to get down? God. That would want to watch the Ron 2C. Yeah, no kidding. I can barely deal with... Well, actually, I don't mind going into regular Target. You know, locally, the one on, what is it? Sunset and Western. Yeah, that's our local Target. They have a Starbucks there. And so, again, reuse your Starbucks. Starbucks doesn't like me saying that, but I'm not going to go in every time when I could just use... You know what, though? Off topic, but this is an important thing. Two things that have been a big disruption for me. They stopped making Zone Perfect nutrition bars. They stopped making Zone bars. Did you know that? Worst, Lipton quit making decaf instant iced tea. They just quit making it. It's like you can't get Lipton decaf. You can't get Zone bars. They quit making it. And I grew up drinking iced tea here in SoCal, Lipton decaf, because I only went decaf in the morning. And they quit making these things. Why would you quit making Lipton decaf iced tea when there's a market demand for it? Zone bars, I don't know why they quit making it. They quit. So like post-pandemic, they like stuff is like, why would you get rid of these kind of consumer products? The Rontusi might be tonight winners. I know, the Rontusi. I hope somebody out there in the YouTube universe does a creative interpretation of the Rontusi. I would love to see that dance online. Yeah, disco at the roller rink. I remember that. Yeah, disco. Ron does the whirling dervish straight to target too. Yeah, Ron took the Vistaril Express on a one-way ticket to Target 2, and he'll come back. I have a fridge with a bunch of Gatorade bottles full of water. It helps with energy, and I mostly drink water. Yeah, see, you don't, yeah, I keep, so you drink Gatorade. Yeah, you should recycle. Yes, there's no decaf. What Lipton's trying to do is to get you to buy these tea bags that they say you don't have to boil. Like you're just like they're cold, and you throw these tea bags into a pitcher. And I think I'm going to try that. They still make regular caffeinated decaf. I'm sorry. Yeah, caffeinated, instant caffeinated. But I don't want all the caffeine. It's just like I get caffeine jitters if I drink way too much. Why would you drink decaf? That's like hiring that will only kiss. Well, first of all, if I drink too much decaf, I'm already like, my brain's always racing, being creative and plotting and doing all of the kinds of things that go on up here. Decaf just like sends me into overdrive. So I have to drink decaf. It's like, as far as hiring a hooker that will only kiss, that reminds me of Jimmy Swaggart, the televangelist, who in the 80s, he hired a hooker and he wouldn't do the act with her, but he liked to like have her dance while he performed a solo 2D assist on himself. And this moron, this is funny. This moron, it's funny to that other guy who's a PI. Jimmy Swaggart, when he hired he'd go to a cheap hotel room. He'd rent a cheap hotel room, even though he had a lot of money. And he would go in and hire a hooker who would dance for him and undress while he did a solo 2D assist. And the dumbass drove his own car. He didn't think a PI would follow him around and get his plates. So that is just so stupid. It's one of those funny, stupid stories. That's why Jimmy Swaggart lost his televangelist empire. Probably drinking too much caffeinated iced tea, possibly troubled, and hiring a hooker that would dance for him. And he's like, this world is like, and then he drove his own car. Like he had a Cadillac and he went to a cheap hotel. Like, dude, you could have spent some money like on a good hotel and rented a car. If you're going to do that kind of stuff as a world famous televangelist, for sake, like get a plan. That's so amateur to like take your own car anywhere to do that kind of to a seedy hotel. No kidding. What a dope. He's a dope. Yeah, Gary Hart killed his own career. I met Gary Hart once, Senator Hart. Yeah, he was the one they made fun of. He was literally 6 inches from the presidency. You know that story. Senator Gary Hart. Swaggart used to sell Bibles by the crate. What a deal. No kidding. Well, if you're going to buy a Bible, you might as well just have a crate of them around. That way when people come over your house, Sun tea, throw tea in the water and set it outside on Venus. That would be a fast way to go. I'm thinking of going to decaf sun tea. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try the instant tea bags that are decaffeinated that Lipton is proposing as the solution because those stupid sons of bitches in the C-suite decided to discontinue a popular product. You can go online. This is like an outrage online, Lipton. So listen to me, because I know the market. Start making this stuff again. You have a license to print money. I bought it for freaking decades, and then you cut it off because some dickweed in the C-suite. She said, we're not going to make it anymore. We're going to make it buy the tea bags. God. You know what? That's a hassle because then you have to buy a pitcher and make a lot when you only want this much. But then you're supposed, because Lipton, you're supposed, let me do an old man rant. Lipton, instead of like allowing me the convenience of buying their product to do this, they have to buy tea bags and get a pitcher and then put that and store it. And it's like just a hassle. But when you can use a teaspoon and then zone bars. I don't know what this world is coming to. Gene Swaggart was no Gene Scott. Correct. And I have a Gene Scott story. Karen and Heber were driving to Gold Base one day, and they saw Gene Scott. Now, I won't tell the story. Maybe I have to think about it out of respect to Melissa Scott. Who I like Melissa Scott. I like what she did with the ministry after, and I like Gene Scott. I met him a couple times. But I got to tell you, he was kind of a randy guy. He was a randy guy, and I don't hold it against her. But Melissa, Gene Scott used to hire these really beautiful women to sit in the front row when he was on, when he was on television. And Werner Herzog did a piece called God's Angry Man. It's on YouTube. It's a great piece if you want to see Gene Scott. He was an original. What he did that was smart, I shared this before, but Gene Scott, in the 80s when I was doing a lot of general lighting and things, I met him at a aquatic fundraising event, and he was a local booster. But no, I'm not going to tell the story. It's just involved. But I will tell you this: that Gene Scott was smart, amazingly smart, intense guy. He was Assemblies of God like me, so we kind of hit it off. And I told him I hated the Assemblies, and he had left. He could have run the Assemblies, but he got run out. So Gene Scott started buying Gutenberg Bibles way back in the early 80s when they were fairly affordable. And I think he had the world's largest private collection in his church. And I went down there and got to see them. I gave him some advice on lighting irreplaceable artifacts and how you filter it, nitrogen cabinets if you really want to do it right. And I got involved with another expert, but he was a pretty cool guy. I liked him a lot. And his house, I think Melissa had it up on the market there on the foothills, fabulous place. He did a lot of things right. So no, I think I won't. I liked Gene Scott, but yeah, I watched Werner Herzog's God's Angry Man. Okay, so we're going to wrap it up here. Just like Xenu, Jimmy Swaggart was framed. Correct. It really, you know what? Jimmy Swaggart should have said it wasn't me. Jimmy Swaggart should have said, Satan sent in a body double, a demon looked just like me, to go, engage in the solitary sin with this here scarlet woman. It wasn't me. I was praying, and Satan sent in a body double using my car with my license plate, what looked like me with my fingerprints. We collected the evidence at the scene of Jimmy Swaggart's crime. It was quite sticky. Oh, that's why you always wear plastic gloves when you're CSI latex gloves, because it can get really sticky. Jimmy Swaggart should have just lied. But instead he got on and said, "Oh, Lord, I've sinned." He got onto that famous thing of him, oh, Jesus, I've sinned. Yeah, you stupid moron. You got caught. Well, with that, now you know that L. Ron Hubbard's not coming back till he's damn well ready and Miscavige is gone. So that's why. Ron's having a good time on Target 2 and his ship-boat plane. His ship-boat plane, let's go look at it. We'll take it one more time. And look at that. And I like the honeypot trap, but it won't work on Ron. And there's T2, and there's where Ron is. So that's his ship boat plane that can crawl across the desert. It can fire photon torpedoes. It's BT proof. So he's living large on his combat vessel. As a Commodore, there's other ships. Now you know. Being from Tennessee, the accent. Oh, I love. Have a lot of family in the South. So, and I even Louisiana, and I used to drive around late at night, and let me get something. Hold on. I used to listen to this preacher on the radio because sometimes I thought you said you. No, I didn't, but I might as well have. So I used to listen to this preacher because, like, when you're out driving to Vegas late at night, I used to drive in Vegas, Phoenix, way past that, Prescott, and late at night, radio waves travel. They travel all over. So I used to listen to this preacher in the bayou. He'd say, get your Bible, get your King James Bible, don't version King James 1611 Bible. Get your Bible, 1611 King James Bible. We're gonna read from the Bible. We're gonna read today from the Bible. We're gonna read in Romans 8. We're gonna start with the Holy Gospel, and I want you, son. If you're gonna engage in life of sin, it's gonna catch up with you. I gotta tell you, son, you're gonna engage in life of sin with liquor. You're gonna go down the most evil event in the world. You're gonna go down a Mardi Gras. Get all liquored up. Get with some paying women. You're gonna get yourself in trouble. You'll get sent to jail, and it's gonna be real bad for you. So you stay away from the allurements of the flesh. Keep yourself in prayer. Also, you should, to avoid that sort to de-assist, you need to sleep with your hands above the covers and take cold showers. So there you go, But that's like bayou, and then South is, South's a little bit different. But I so love dialects. Okay, well, thank you for tuning in. Oh, yeah, let's finish up with this. Yes, no, it was not Pat Robertson. You're close, Joe. It was Oral Roberts. Oral Roberts was building this gigantic complex, this tower at ORU, Oral Roberts University, and Oral Roberts went on the air. Hit the like button. Thank you for thinking of Stuart Mills. Hit the like and subscribe. It helps me. It helps me feel better about myself because I have self-esteem issues as Stuart Mills. Although I'm wealthy. I'm still have insecurity issues, and I don't want to break into tears. If you don't give me like and subscribe, I'll feel insecure. So anyway, the 300-foot Jesus. Yeah. Oral Roberts went on and said that a 300-foot Jesus had appeared to him in a dream. And a 300-foot Jesus appeared to me in a dream. And he said he was going to take me if you don't donate. He actually did that, and he got away with it. Can you imagine saying, Jesus is going to take me home if you don't donate money to my ministry now, because we got to build that tower in Tulsa. And then one thing, bunch of fuckwits. I love televangelists. Watched them for years. Like, who's that moron with Cast Out the Demons? Bob. Oh gosh, he was big on the 90s. So anyway, to end the show, we'll end biblically. Now I want you to reach out and touch my hand as a point of faith contact. I want you to smash that like button in faith, trusting that if you give me a like and subscribe, that God will bless you 1,000 times over with prosperity, health, healing, hope, and happiness. My friend, thank you for tuning in. This has been Stuart Mills, fake Scientology lawyer, and we had a good time tonight. So, yeah, we'll get into Baker and Tammy Failure. We're going to do maybe a televangelist episode for Farrell. So anyway, we're going to wrap up here, and thank you so much for hanging around. Have a lot of fun. Hope this weekend you get into prayer and have a glorious spell. I hope you have a glorious spell, because I know that I'm going to have a good old time. I'm going to go down there to that Mardi Gras and get all liquored up, and I hope have a good old time. Maybe take my 57 Chevy down the bayou or my El Camino. I'll see you all next time on Scientology Project on YouTube.